And finally, an alleged attempt by a top government official to bribe this journalist, all caught on camera.
He claimed it was a network of entrenched bribery and corruption.
Ask the Guptas or Jonas. Don't ask me. Where do I come in?
After freedom came, South Africa didn't just get democracy. It got a black market for power. Envelopes replaced laws, justice was for sale, and from the streets to the president's office, bribery became the mother tongue. A story of deals done in smoke-filled rooms, millions of rands in betrayals, and the people who dared to expose it. Forget courtroom dramas. The real action is happening behind closed doors. In South Africa, bribery isn't just in the shadows, it's in broad daylight. From small roadside cold drink bribes to billion-rand scandals that shook the nation. Bribery has seeped into every corner of society. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 3 decades worth of bribery scandals. Be warned, because some of these scandals might shock you. But before we get into it, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss any video that we release here on this channel. My name is Lim. Let's get into it. Imagine there's a big company that helps the government build things like schools and hospitals. It's called IDT. The boss of IDT is a lady called Tebogo Malaka. So one day, a reporter from a newspaper called Daily Maverick wanted to ask her about a big project that cost a lot of money, almost R1 billion, to make oxygen plants for hospitals. Some people were saying the project wasn't done fairly, or maybe there was cheating or some funny business with the money. But that wasn't the suspicious part. The suspicious part was that Tebogo Malaka owned assets worth millions of rands, like houses, apartment buildings, and cars that didn't justify her paycheck. So Peter Mayberg got more suspicious and decided to dig in further. The IDT CEO must have caught wind of Mayberg's investigations, because a couple of months later, IDT spokesperson Pasha Makhalane called Mayberg for a meeting in Cape Town. So the reporter met with Tebogo Malaka in Cape Town. But then something strange happened. Makhalane showed up with an envelope full of cash, about 60,000 rand. He gave it to the reporter and basically told him, please stop asking questions. Mayberg declined the money. Instead, he recorded everything on a hidden camera. Later, the video was shared and it looked really bad. When the government saw this, the Public Works Minister got very angry and called the police. He said both Malaka and the spokesperson must face criminal charges for bribery. But then Malaka's family said, wait, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't bring the money, she didn't plan the meeting, and she was tricked. They think the whole thing was a setup to make her look bad. And now, the police are investigating and everyone is waiting to see if she's guilty, or if she really was framed. But I'll let Peter Mayberg, the Daily Maverick journalist, explain.
My work on the IDT originally focused on an 800 million rand tender to install oxygen plants at government hospitals across South Africa. In April this year, we revealed that Malaka had somehow very rapidly acquired several assets worth millions of rands, including a couple of properties. The properties were bought through Malaka's trusts. Curiously, there were no bank loans registered to the properties, which meant Malaka had somehow come up with millions of rands in cash. Again raising questions as to how the IDT CEO was laying her hands on so much money. Slowly, I managed to gather more and more information. In June 2025, the IDT spokesperson, Pasha Makhalane, contacted me out of the blue. He said he had something sensitive to discuss with me. Makhalane said he didn't want to talk over the phone. 2 days later, Makhalane hopped on a plane and met me at a restaurant in the Cape Winelands. What the IDT spokesperson told me during the meeting confirmed my suspicions. After a few pleasantries and some idle chit-chat, Makhalane told me that his boss would pay me if I decided to work with him. In other words, I had to drop my investigation into a property. Astonishingly, Makhalane said that they would pay me in cash, but that I could earn even more money by bringing my own contractors to the IDT for lucrative tenders.
Today, bribery isn't just a story for big business tenders. It's part of everyday life. Traffic officers get caught taking a few $100 to forget about speeding fines. Licensing officials selling driving permits for a couple of thousand rands without a test. border officials taking envelopes to wave through undocumented immigrants. The amounts may be smaller, but the impact is just as damaging. But all of this bribery out here had to start from somewhere. The 1990s brought freedom, but they also brought opportunities for both progress and for corruption. In 1999, South Africa was faced with its first mega bribery scandal, the arms deal. Government officials were accused of taking millions of kickbacks from European arms suppliers in exchange for defense contracts worth over 30 million rands. To this day, some of the allegations remain unresolved, and the deal still casts a long shadow over the country's democracy.
The deal was to buy fighter aircraft, helicopters, submarines and naval corvettes for the armed forces. In November 1998, Cabinet approves the arms deal, which carries a price tag of 30 billion rand. June 2003. In the UK, it is revealed that BAE, British Aerospace, had paid commissions to agents to help secure the deal. June 2005, Judge Hilary Squires finds Sheikh guilty. He is jailed for 15 years and his lawyers appeal the sentence. Same month, Zuma is charged with having had a generally corrupt relationship with Sheikh. In August, his house is raided by the Scorpions. September 2006, Zuma's corruption case is struck from the roll. September 2008, the High Court rules corruption charges against Zuma are invalid.
And from that time until now, the government has faced its fair share of bribery allegations. Well, a long time ago, but actually not too long, there was a company in South Africa called Bosasa. On paper, they were just a business that did things for the government, like run prison kitchens and provide security. But secretly, they were playing a very naughty game. Bosasa wanted big government contracts, you know, the kind, the ones worth millions of rands. But instead of doing good work and winning fair, they thought, hey, why don't we just give politicians gifts so that they could like us more? And those weren't small gifts like chocolates or flowers. No, we're talking about fancy cars, cash-filled envelopes, expensive parties, even home renovations for powerful people. And in return, the politicians and other important people will make sure that Bosasa got those juicy government contracts again and again. It was like this secret, you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of situation. Except the scratching involved millions of rands. For years, Bosasa's plan worked. Everyone kept quiet, but then someone spilled the beans. A brave man named Angelo Agriti, who worked for Bosasa himself, told the world what was really going on during the Zondo Commission, a commission that looked into bribery and corruption. Suddenly, people saw the truth. Bosasa wasn't just winning contracts by luck. They were buying loyalty with bribes. Agriti revealed that Bosasa had an entire budget dedicated to bribery.
The use of cash was from the safe was used predominantly for illegal activities.
In short, bribes, as you've described it.
Correct. We used to pay a 15% premium to get the cash. Because the cash was laundered.
Yes.
So if you wanted to pay bonuses, it would be better, safer, and more cost-effective to do it via the payroll system.
Yes.
When I was referring to bonuses, I should have used the word bribe. Because what we're actually doing is we are bribing the people to keep quiet about the corruption.
In the end, Bosasa's empire started to crumble. Their boss, Gavin Watson, died in a mysterious car crash. The company went bankrupt and their name became one of the biggest symbols of corruption in South Africa. But if you think that was bad, the next bribery case will shock you. Once upon a time in South Africa, there was a super rich family from India called the Guptas. They were business people, but not just ordinary business people. They were friends with the most important person in their country, President Jacob Zuma. Now, because they were so close to Zuma, the Guptas started doing something very sneaky. They found ways to use their friendship to get rich from government deals. So here's how it worked. They'd whisper to President Zuma about which people should get powerful jobs in the government. In return, those people would make decisions that gave the Guptas companies big contracts and money. It was almost like they had a remote control for the government, and they were pressing all the buttons to make themselves richer. The Guptas got so bold that they even tried to offer a top government job to someone inside the president's own office, with the promise of millions of rands if he helped them. But eventually, too many people noticed. Journalists wrote about it, whistleblowers spoke up, and the Zondo Commission started looking into the corruption and bribery allegations.
You know, the worst thing about the Guptas for me, other than the blatant corruption, Jacob Zuma was allowing the Guptas to control our country and choose our ministers.
I am in charge of the government. I'm in charge. I appoint.
Members of the Gupta family offered me the position of Minister of Finance to replace the then Minister Nene. I rejected this out of hand.
But where are the Guptas now? Well, the Guptas ran away to Dubai, and South Africa has been trying to get them back to face charges ever since. Yes, the Guptas really captured the country and ran it from the shadows, allegedly. From Tebogo Malaka, the arms deal, Bosasa to the state capture, and the daily bribes at street level, South Africa's bribery culture has evolved over the past 3 decades. The question is now, can it be stopped? Or has the corruption become too deeply woven into the fabric of the nation? What other instances of bribery have you noticed that I forgot to mention in this video? Let me know down in the comments. But one thing's for certain, as long as money talks, the truth will stay harsh in the background. If you like this video, then you'll love these ones, on my top right and my top left. Otherwise, hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.